short, now heaven knows anything goes.
Wait, hold on. Anything goes? Isn't that what's been happening right here in America for some time now? So, how does that make you feel? After all, our country is a land of laws framed by our Constitution, is it not? So, you might be asking, what can I do? Well, welcome to COS Indiana Live, where we'll be discussing how to use the Constitution to save the Constitution. Our vision is to build a strong, engaged army of self-governing activists. Our mission statement is to restore self-governance by recruiting, training, and deploying citizen activists to engage in all levels of government. So, if you've had enough of anything goes, join us every Monday at 7 p.m. as our state director and host, Dale Parrish, will show you how we can actually make a difference by using the Constitution to save the Constitution and our country. And without any further ado, here's Dale.
Well, thank you, Maringo Mike, and good evening, everyone. Very nice to have you here with us this evening. As Maringo Mike said, are you beginning to feel, or have you been feeling, I guess I should say, since the beginning of the year, since the election, what can I do? What can I do now? There must be something I can do. Well, we have something for you to do, and that's called Convention of States. And we are going to talk to you tonight about joining Convention of States, because we believe Convention of States is the solution as big as the problem. So you'll be hearing more about this as we go along this evening. Again, my name's Dale Parrish. I am the State Director for Convention of States here in Indiana. Want to make sure you understand the broadcast is coming to you through our state Facebook page, Convention of States Indiana. But we are also live streaming the broadcast through our YouTube channel, COS Indiana. So there is another alternative way of viewing our broadcast, and that's, like I said, through our YouTube channel, COS Indiana. Now, if you are a YouTube viewer, please, please, please hit that subscribe button and subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel. That way you'll be notified of all the postings that we put on that page or on that channel. So please subscribe to our channel. I want to briefly go through the segments of our broadcast this evening, just so you have a understanding of what to expect and what we're going to be doing this evening. Our first segment is what I call the interview segment. And in this segment, I try my best to bring in leadership individuals from our group here in Indiana, Convention of States here in Indiana. And we have just been blessed with an onslaught of new members and volunteers coming in to Convention of States here in Indiana. So tonight, I'm bringing on one of our new district captains. We've received a number of applications for new district captains. Thank goodness. District captain is one of the most important positions in our organization. But like I said, I'm bringing on one of our new district captains tonight. Her name is Jill Jones, and she is the new district captain in Indiana House District 53. So I'll be bringing her on very soon, and you'll get to meet her and learn more about her. Now, in the second segment, I call it the information segment. In this segment, I'll bring up my PowerPoint and provide you some general information about how we're doing here in Indiana, what we're trying to accomplish, our objectives, and where we stand. And then I'm also going to fill you in on who we're going to have on our broadcast next Monday evening at 7 o'clock. So that'll be in the information segment. In the third segment, I'll recognize any viewer comments that we may have this evening. If you are viewing either on the Facebook page or through our YouTube channel, please feel free to make a comment or ask a question in the chat section. Keep them brief, as I'm limited to the number of characters that I can display. But I'll do my best to recognize you and your comments. So feel free to do that this evening. Now, in the fourth segment, I call this the contributors segment. We have certain individuals in our organization that I've designated as COS Indiana Live contributors. And these are individuals that have certain opinions or very interested in certain things. So I ask of them to pre-record a brief statement or dissertation. It has to be brief. So then and then they submit that to me, and I present that from time to time in the contributors segment of our broadcast. So tonight we have another segment from our contributor, John Ackerman. We call his contribution or his segment, we call that John's Journal. So John has submitted to me another brief segment, and he calls it Finding Truth. So John's quite a thinker. So I think you will enjoy John's journal. I think is very enjoyable. So we'll have him on frequently. So tonight we have another contribution from John Ackerman. And now in the final segment, I call it the invitation segment. And now in this segment, we'll give you a little more information about what Convention of States is all about. I've got a different video for you this evening. After last week, I promised that I would present a different video to you this evening, and I think you'll enjoy it. It's a little dated, but the information is all still current. And it's right on our national website, which I'll be giving that to you very, very soon here too. But I was able to bring it down, and we'll be playing it for you this evening. Kind of really gives you a good brief, but good summary of what Convention of States is all about. And I think it does just as good a job as if I had tried to explain it to you. So we'll be bringing that to you in that segment. And then finally in this segment, I'm going to invite you to join Convention of States here in Indiana. I might mention that this broadcast is targeted to you that perhaps support us as far as agreeing with us, but you don't belong to us. You're not an official supporter of our movement here in Indiana. So I'm going to invite you to join us here in Convention of States in Indiana, and I'm going to tell you how to go about doing that. So that will be in the invitation segment, the final segment. So those are the segments that we will be going through this evening. So we are going to bring in our guest this evening for the first segment, which is the interview segment. And let me bring her up into the screen here. And she will be, there she is. Hi, Jill.
Hi, good evening.
Jill Jones is our new district captain. We're so very, very pleased to have Jill with us on our team here in Indiana. And Jill is the new district captain in House District 53. Now we're organized around the lower house or the house districts in Indiana. There's 100 of them. And Jill is we hope someday to have a district captain in each one of these house districts, but got a ways to go to accomplish that. But Jill is the new district captain for House District 53. Now, Jill, give us a kind of an idea of where District 53 is located in the state.
Sure. It's about 30 miles east of Indianapolis, and we're in Hancock County. And Greenfield is the town that I reside in. So
Okay.
Nearest our school system that our children go to is New Palestine school system. So we're right on the edge of New Palestine.
Now, is Greenfield right off of 74? Is it 74?
No, we're north of there, about
North of 74.
about 20 miles, 25 miles north of 74,
Okay.
which is roughly around the Shelbyville area.
Oh, all right. All right.
That's south of us.
Okay. All right.
Hmm?
What are another town or two in District 53 that people might recognize?
Sure. Yeah. Pendleton is another. It's north of us. Let me think here. I mentioned New Pal, and there's some neighboring small towns around us, and I'm drawing a blank. I wish I would have had those in front of me.
That's okay. That's okay.
I have and another small one, because I'm looking at my follow-up here. Fountain Town, which is a small little town. And like I mentioned, Pendleton. So those are some common locations where I'm seeing some folks sign our petition.
That's good. That's good. Okay. As I mentioned to Jill, all the guests that I bring on that are COS leadership individuals, I always ask them to share their COS story. Not their life story, but the story about how, when, where they got involved in Convention of States. So, Jill, tell us your COS story.
Sure, I'll be glad to. Well, I heard about COS through Patriot Academy. I was in on Constitutional Live for most of the courses. I think I missed the first couple, but I was on those online courses. And Mark Meckler was on the Q&A at the end of those. And so during that, he mentioned about Convention of States. And of course, some of the subject matter during some of those courses was pertaining to Convention of States and Article 5. And I thought I need to find out more about that. So with that, I started looking into COS a little bit then. And then I piggybacked also on a course online through Patriot Academy, again, was biblical citizenship. And again, Mark Meckler was on the Q&A at the end of that as well. And of course, as he does so well, he was talking about Convention of States.
Yeah.
And I thought, I need to look into this more. I started looking into it, find out who Convention of States was, what it was about. So in January of this year, 2021, I, signed the petition. And I went ahead and, I checked the box for volunteer, and I really was testing the system, actually, to be honest, because I wanted to find out if anybody would follow up with me, if I got an email. So that's what I was doing. I was just testing the legitimacy of this organization.
Oh.
And so the reason why, too, at the time, of course, 2020, it may sound strange, but I do thank God for 2020 because it had given me a renewed passion for everything that I hold dear, which is faith, family, and freedom, in America. And so, of course, we've seen what's gone on this last year and a half, really, but year for sure. And the threat I felt to these institutions, to faith and family and our freedom, was really being attacked in a more profound way than ever before. And so with that, I looked into COS, and I thought, this is a way that we can pursue, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I really feel that those things are being hijacked right now. And my belief with God and it's historic Convention of States, we can restore what our foundation as a country has been built upon. And so I'm bought into it, and I'm thrilled to be a part. I do want to give a shout out, please, Dale, to a few people: George Ward, Thomas Schultz, and my mentor, Vicki Fisher, and also Jerry Rowe, because these were individuals that I spoke to early on And I thought, wow, they're a part of a team. They've blazed a trail, and I'm getting on board. And their encouragement and guidance helped me just kind of get going into the training that I've been given, and kind of has gotten you fired up. Really, I think we all get each other fired up in a good way.
Well, folks, that's a wrap. We might as well. What a great COS story. Very, very good, Jill. Thank you very much.
I hope that it's, I hope it's like a lot of other people, really. It's just, I look at it kind of like my name. I have a common name, and I think a lot of us have a common objective, so.
Yes. Okay. Great. Great. And I think we're gonna touch again on Patriot Academy here very, very shortly, and as we continue talking here. But very good, very good, excellent. Now, Jill, we wanted to get into some of your objectives that you have set for yourself for your district.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know you got some objectives that you wanted to mention this evening. So let's get going. You want to lead off with your first objective?
Sure. Well, I'm excited about a first meet and greet for District 53, and it's on the calendar for April 17th at 11 a.m. at the Greenfield Library. And really, my hope is that I'll have, 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter who shows up, but I am hoping that I'll get a good turnout. I have gotten some folks that have replied and said they look forward to being there. So I hope that works out for them. And my goal is just to meet people and to listen to them. I know I like to talk. We all like to talk. I like to listen, and I try to be a better listener than a talker. But so I'm really looking forward to that, and
Okay.
I will hopefully be able to give a update on how that all went. So.
Okay, I'm going to mention this again later on in the broadcast, but once again, it's at the Greenfield Library, April 17th, 11 a.m., right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And anybody is welcome, even if you have not signed the petition, even if you are just kind of new to maybe this live broadcast tonight, just stop by, and you'll be more than welcome. And we're all new faces to one another, so it does not matter. So please come if you're curious.
That's right. That's right. Now let's. I know you wanted to mention this Patriot Academy, that you're a Patriot Academy coach. So you want to tell us about that then?
Yes. Well, it sounds really official being a coach. You've got a leadership role. I have not done a class yet on my own, but what I look forward to is Patriot Academy provides the resources for you to be a coach. And really, the way I like to remember this so that I don't get too overwhelmed with the thought of it is that it's really about clicking a button and playing the video that they've provided. So it's already a formatted class and coursework, really. Biblical Citizenship specifically is their newest course. And so that's kind of what I'm zeroing in on, at least at this time. I really enjoyed Constitutional Live as well. But I hope to have, a class, Biblical Citizenship class here in May. And I haven't put that on the calendar officially, but I'm just going to look for a warm body or two. And if we have more, great. And we'll go from there. So
now they could, if someone's interested in this or are interested in lining you up as a coach, come to your meet and greet on the 17th, and you can talk to Jill about that some more and get some more information.
Yes, sir.
All right. Excellent. I'm going to show you one comment here, Jill, that come in. Cheryl Shopmeyer says, yes, Patriot Academy.
Good, Cheryl.
So she must have participated in that as well.
Yes.
All right. Now, also, you wanted to mention gun shows or fairs or festivals coming up. So
yes, sir. So there are gun shows right here in Greenfield at our county fairgrounds. And I am new to gun shows, so this is a new territory for me, but I believe in our Second Amendment, and I have many family members that are very passionate about our Second Amendment, and I hope to go. I hope to represent Convention of States in Greenfield. I'm hoping that we can possibly have a table there in September or December. They are filling up very fast. I spoke to a coordinator, and the one for May is already filled up. So if
Really?
you were, if you're a previous vendor, they have dibs on the next shows. But I hope to do that. I hope we can have some volunteers there. And one of mine in my district, he actually shared with me that he attends all of those gun shows. And so I appreciated him sharing that, because that gave us some talking points when I was doing a follow-up call. Okay. And I said, oh, wow, so it gave me an opportunity to say, you would be a great volunteer there.
Yeah, we seem to have good success at gun shows, having an information table there, talking to people about Convention of States. A lot of like-minded people at shows of that nature, but also county fairs or community festivals, anywhere where there's a gathering of people, and if we can have an information table there to hand out information, talk to people about Convention of States. So those are all very good venues. Well, as you know, as a new district captain, certainly meeting your state legislators, your state representative, state senator, and establishing a relationship with them is very, very important. So how are you coming along on that particular area?
Yes. So my main objective will be to meet them in person. So my senator is Michael Kreider, District 28 for us. And then my representative is Robert Cherry for District 53, our House district. And I have sent emails, written letters, and put calls into them, but I've not had an opportunity to meet them yet. So I look forward to being able to represent Convention of States. And I do know that, Dale, you had asked me, if they were supporters of the resolution back in 2016. So I did a little bit of research, and I was glad to find that I archived that. And I did notice that Senator Kreider was a supporter. He gave us a yay vote, and so that's great. And then our Representative Cherry, he had an excuse. So he was not under the yay or nays, but was under an excuse. So I'm not really sure what that means, but I won't read into that. But that'll give me opportunity to share with him.
You want to find out where he stands on it. Yeah.
For sure.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. And as I mentioned, establishing this relationship with your state legislators is a major responsibility of a district captain. So I think you're well on your way to achieving that. So let's wrap it up on the topic of self-governance. We encourage all of our leadership individuals to become involved in their local governments. So I know you've been reaching out. So you want to tell us what you've been working on?
Sure. Well, in recent months, really, within the year, again, through just the passion that I have and the concerns I have, I thought I need to just get more down to the local level and find out how our government runs right here in District 53. And so I was able to go to a commissioners meeting a couple months ago and sat in on a meeting, and I just was an outsider sitting back and listening to the subject matters, pulled up the agenda, and was just, part of that meeting. And it was pretty casual, come and go as I please. And then I do look forward to attending a city council meeting here within the next month or two as well. So those are scheduled, and you can pull those up in any county you're in, and you can find out what the agenda is and go from there. So.
All right. Sounds good. Bill, thank you very much. That's
Yes,
it
sir.
for this evening. So I want to welcome you aboard as a new district captain. I think you're going to do a great job,
I thank you.
and look forward to working with you in the future. So thank you, Jill. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you for your time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Jill Jones, folks. She's going to be a good one. She's going to be a good one. I think she's off to a really, really great start, and has a very, very good attitude. And I think she's going to do a fine job for us. All right, let's move on now to the second segment, which is the information segment. And let me bring up my PowerPoint here so that I can get you lined up with that. And in order for you to get a full view of each of my slides, I'm going to implement the slideshow option. So now you should have a full view of each of the slides. Our vision statement here in Indiana is in line with the Convention of States national vision statement, and that is to build a strong, engaged army of self-governing activists. So that is our vision statement. Now, our mission statement here in Indiana is to restore self-governance by recruiting, training, and deploying citizen activists to engage in all levels of government. So here in Indiana, if we realize our mission statement, then that will bring us closer to realizing our vision statement. Now, we have certain objectives here in Indiana that we've set forth for 2021. We want to grow to 70,000 supporters. We're at 56,000 right now, so we're on our way to achieving this particular objective. We want to get some younger folks involved in Convention of States here in Indiana. We're looking to get 10 new volunteers under the age of 30. We want to grow to 7 region captains. Now, we have 9 regions in the state. We have 4 region captains in place right now, so we want to grow to 7 by the end of 2021. We want to grow to 40 district captains. We have about 33, I believe it is, right now. Jill is one of our new district captains. So we're well on our way to achieving the 40 objective, but that's what we want to try and get to in 2021. Develop and implement our call to action program. Now that's has to do with our legislative program. I'll be touching on that a little bit here very shortly. Deliver an education program, and I'll also be touching on that very shortly here in another segment of in another slide here in this segment. So those are the objectives that we have set forth here in Indiana for 2021. Some resources and events that we have available to us. Our main resource here in Convention of States is our national website, conventionofstates.com. Now, embedded in our national website is our state webpage, conventionofstates.com/Indiana. Social media platforms, our major platform right now is Facebook, and that's our state Facebook page, Convention of States Indiana. The broadcast is coming to you through the state Facebook page. Now, also, we have our YouTube channel, which we've mentioned earlier, COS Indiana. Now, on our YouTube channel, as I mentioned earlier, we're also live streaming the broadcast. But also on that YouTube channel, we have various educational resources available to you. We have narrated PowerPoint presentations. We have recordings of our broadcasts, and we have links to a podcast that our legislative liaison, Paul Phillips, does, and it's called The Free to Be Free. So whenever Paul generates a new podcast, we'll put a link on the YouTube channel so you can easily access that podcast. They're very, very good, I might mention. We're on Parler, at least I'm on Parler, at D.O. Parrish. Instagram, Twitter, we're looking at getting on MeWe and Rumble. So we hope to be expanding into other social media platforms. I also want to mention our state newsletter. Now, if you're a supporter, and when you become a supporter here in Indiana, if you opt in to receive emails, then you'll be able to receive our monthly state newsletter. And I just want to tell you, folks, our team that works on our newsletter does an outstanding job. It's a very, very professional newsletter. I think you'll find it very, very interesting. So, our state newsletter. Some upcoming events and items that I want to mention to you. This is our call to action program. We have 3 House bills that are working their way through the state legislature right now. And these are the 3 bills that we are supporting as a group, as an organization here in Convention of States. House Bill 1123, Disaster Emergencies. House Bill 1369, Firearms Matters. And House Bill 1384, Civics Education. So in 2 of those, we've had 2 of our advocates, or our sponsors, 2 of our leadership individuals actually testify before committees in the legislature so far this year. So we're hoping that all 3 of these bills do get passed in the Indiana 2021 legislature. Some other events coming up. A sporting goods store in Wabash, Bass and Bucks, has already hosted us for a COS presentation a few weeks ago, and has invited our guys to come back and for another presentation. So as soon as we get a date and time, we'll make that known to you. I want to also mention again Jill's meet and greet coming up at the Greenfield Library, 11 a.m., April 17th. That's just not very far away. So 11 a.m., April 17th, meet and greet, Greenfield Library. Then we have our next COS virtual roundtable meeting coming up on July 25th. That's a Sunday evening. Now, we've had one so far this year. We had just recently on March 28th. So the next one's coming up July 25th. That's a good segment, a good part of that roundtable meeting is education oriented. Not only talking about the education program and resources that we have available here, but we'll have a little bit of an educational tidbit for you at the meeting. One of our Patriot Academy coaches, as a matter of fact, will be offering that up. So that's coming up July 25th. Now, I want to mention our next broadcast on April 12th, 7 p.m. We're going to have another new district captain, Dale Tipton. Dale is the district captain now for Indiana House District 9 up in the northwest corner of Indiana. Dale was my guest on a previous, a few weeks ago, as a matter of fact, on this broadcast. And we got about halfway through the interview segment and all of a sudden had a technical problem and the whole broadcast got terminated. So I really felt bad about that, but that happens from time to time with technology. So I promised Dale that we would bring him back. And so I'm going to do that on April 12th, next Monday evening, 7 o'clock, and introduce you to Dale Tipton, another one of our new district captains. All right. So that's it for the information segment. So let me bring myself back up here. See if I got some more comments. I have to recognize this. I don't know if this gentleman is on right now, but this is David Burrows from Canada. David is my live streaming coach. So we got all sorts of coaches on tonight, but David is my live streaming coach. And so, David, thank you for tuning in this evening. I don't know if you're still there or not, but thank you very much. And he'll, I'm sure, be summarizing my performance tonight, which is good, and I want him to do that. So, David, thank you for joining us this evening. Appreciate it. And let me see. Here's Chris Custer. Chris is another one of our new district captains, saying good evening, everyone. I just mentioned Dale Tipton's going to be on next Monday evening, so Dale's tuning in, saying hello to everyone. There you can see what Dale looks like. And I wanted to Cheryl wanted to mention also that she's also a new district captain. So that is right. And Cheryl will get you on this broadcast very, very soon and give you an opportunity to tell people who you are and what you plan to do as a new district captain. Our legislative liaison, Paul Phillips, has also tuned in. Says, "Great job, Jill." So Jill got some feedback there. So Paul is saying she's recognizing and appreciates Paul's comment. So, all right, very, very good. That takes care of the viewer comments this evening. And I want to now move on to the next segment, which is the contributors segment. And I'm going to bring up John Ackerman. This is another installment from John Ackerman in John's Journal. So let me bring him up and let me set him up so that you can see him. So I better mute myself so that I don't interfere with it at all. So hang on, I'm going to bring John on here.
John Ackerman again for Convention of States, Indiana. These are difficult times. There's great division in our country, in our families, in our neighborhoods, in our churches. Division everywhere. You have your truth and somebody else has their truth. Why can't we come together and reason together and find the truth? Maybe because we're so polarized and so afraid of conflict that we would just rather lob bombs at each other, verbal bombs, rather than having a meeting of the minds. One of the founding fathers of our great republic, Thomas Jefferson, who was instrumental, almost single-handedly wrote the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson said, "Difference of opinion leads to inquiry, and inquiry leads to truth." Man, those words ring true today. When you have your opinion and I have my opinion, the differences come together, and if we trust each other and respect each other enough, that difference leads to inquiry, and we start digging into the facts, and we rip off the layers like peeling an onion, and we get down to the core, and that inquiry leads to truth. May all sides in our current divisive climate start to believe this and start to practice it and talk to each other, better yet, listen to each other and inquire together and find truth together.
All right, John. Thank you very much, John. I hope you enjoyed that. John always has some very, very just great insights, and I always enjoy bringing John on and sharing those with you. So thank you, John. He'll be back. We'll have him on again. All right. I want to get into now the final segment, which is the invitation segment. And I'm going to bring up a new video. The video itself is not new, and you'll notice how it's as I stated earlier, it's a bit dated, but the message is not dated. The message is still very, very current. And I might also mention to you that this video is on our national website, conventionofstates.com. And if you go on the website and if you click on the menu selection at the top called Resources, when you go to that page, this will be the first thing you see on that page. So let me bring this up, and I hope you enjoy this. I think it's still very, very good. So I'm going to need to mute myself again so I don't interfere with it. So I'll be right back.
The United States Constitution was written to form a more perfect union that would enable checks and balances to prevent a bloody revolution from being a necessary measure to abolish tyranny. Excellent though it was, Colonel George Mason feared the national government might one day end in a tyrannical aristocracy. The rights of the people needed to be secured against potential corruption at the national level. One of the solutions the framers decided upon can be found in Article 5, which gives state legislators the authority to call a convention that bypasses federal legislators to amend the Constitution. That gives we the people the opportunity to make some long overdue structural adjustments. Maybe term limits would be a good place to start. Here's how the process works. Citizens request their state legislators to pass a bill called an application, with operative language identical in each state. These legislators of the states then pass the application. Generally, only a simple majority is needed. Congress shall, by law, call a convention of the states as soon as it receives applications from 2/3 of the state legislatures. That's 34 states. Delegates chosen by the state legislatures attend the convention. Each state only gets one vote at the convention, but they can send as many delegates to represent the state as they so choose. Amendments are proposed, debated, and voted upon at the convention. Finally, ratification takes place in the states. Each amendment must be ratified by 3/4 of the states in order to become part of the U.S. Constitution. But what about a runaway convention? Let's get a reality check. Like constitutional law scholar Robert G. Nadelson says, there are far more political and legal constraints on a runaway convention than on a runaway Congress. The convention delegates, also called commissioners, are bound to the will of their state legislatures. If they don't vote as their states demand, they get recalled and might even get sent to prison. Furthermore, a full 3/4 of the state legislatures, we're talking 38 state legislatures, must ratify each and every amendment in order for it to become part of the U.S. Constitution. Even Alexander Hamilton and Abraham Lincoln, who favored national government, emphasized that Article 5 gives states authority over the national government. Hamilton writes that national rulers have no option upon the subject. The words of Article 5 are peremptory. The Congress shall call a convention. And Lincoln says the convention mode seems preferable in that it allows amendments to originate with the people themselves. Article 5 Convention of the States is a safe route to stopping federal overreach. Civilizations rise and fall. Let's be a civilization that saw the cycle of collapse coming and broke it.
Well, then, I hope you enjoyed that. As I said, some of the pictures were a bit dated of the President Obama and some of the others in the pictures. But the information is still very, very accurate. As she mentioned, it requires 34 states to call this convention of states. 15 states have signed on to the application, or also called the resolution. Indiana is one of those states. Indiana was the 6th state to pass the resolution. So 15 have passed. We're looking at 2021 being a big year. We are the resolution itself is in one stage or another of legislative approval in 30 different states. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to make it through all 30 states. As a matter of fact, we've already lost one or two, but it's in process in 30 different states. So we're looking to see some more states come on board, and that number 15 to grow here in 2021. 2020 kind of COVID pretty much put a halt to any progress in 2020, but looking for 2021 to be a big year for us. Now, I want to mention also the application itself, which is also referred to as the call, also referred as the resolution. This is what drives the agenda of the convention. And there are three parts to this, three specific items in this application that will drive the convention. Number one is dealing with the national debt. Number two is controlling and restraining the breadth and control of the federal government, reining in the federal government. And number three has to do with federalism, primarily term limits. And term limits on not only Congress, but the federal judiciary as well as other federal officials. So, yes, that includes Supreme Court judges and other federal judges and other federal officials. Now, that gets into the deep state. So, we're looking and wanting term limits on all these individuals. So those are the three areas that the application or resolution also referred to. That's what will set the agenda for the convention of states. Like I said, 15 have signed on. We need to get to 34. And as she said, any proposed amendment that would come out of the convention would then have to be ratified by 3/4 of the state legislatures, which would be 38 states. So that's what Convention of States kind of in a nutshell is all about. Now, how do you join? How do you get involved in this? Well, what you do is you go to our national website, conventionofstates.com, open an account, sign the petition, and that makes you a supporter. And that's a very, very important step. That makes you an official supporter, and you will be listed in your particular district based on your physical address. Now, if you have some time and if you have an inclination to get more involved, just like Jill is a district captain, then I would recommend you click on the menu selection at the top of the website, Take Action. Click on that menu selection, scroll down to where it says Become a Leader, and look at the different volunteer positions that we have available. And if one's of interest to you, open it up, read about it. If you're very interested in it, go ahead and make application. You're not obligated in any way. You don't have to worry about that. But what that does then is your name then comes up on a report that I see as well as a few others see every day. So one of us then will be in contact with you to discuss your interests further. So I would encourage you, if you have some time. Now, some of these positions require very little time. Other positions will require more time. I want to be honest about that with you. But if you have a need and have a desire to get more involved beyond the level of supporter, then I would encourage you to take a look at the volunteer positions that we have available. And most of all, we would love to see you become part of our family here in Indiana, Convention of States of Indiana. So with that, folks, I've gone overboard. I've gone beyond my target time limit here again tonight, but that's okay. I enjoy talking about Convention of States, and I think we've had a very good broadcast tonight. I want to leave you with one more thought. When you join us, you will be joining an organization that when this Convention of States happens, and it will happen, if you're going to be part of an organization that's going to make history. I want to underline that you will be part of an organization that is going to make history. Convention of States has been utilized as a way to solve problems many times over the decades and years, but there's never been an Article 5 Convention of States called for the purpose of amending the Constitution. So this is going to be a first. But we're going to make it happen, folks, and we would love to have you join us and come along and bring this about. We're going to make history. With that, everyone, I want to say good night. Look forward to seeing you again next Monday evening, April 12th, 7 p.m. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Good night.